Hey yogis, I'm here in my office recording my voiceover for you, and I just want to give you a brief intro to the class that you're about to take. I had a really clear vision for today's class, and that was that, like I sometimes do, I envision that you can only take one class forevermore every day of your life, and you do it like a ritual. Like take a second, think of something that you just never miss each and every day. For me, it's brushing my teeth. One way or the other, I'm going to get it done. Could you do your yoga practice much in the same way you brush your teeth? And that's the question I sort of aim to resolve with this class. And then I took the idea of namaskars. Namaskars meaning like a greeting. And specifically, your Surya Namaskars, your sun salutes, as many of you know, are a greeting in a way to the sun and the power of like the solar energy within us. And so we begin standing, and I build on the Namaskars to create a full class. Enjoy. Let's begin standing at the top of the mat with hands in prayer. By the way, I know it's fuzzy. For some reason, the camera didn't focus for about 2 minutes, but then it finally finds its focus and is good for the rest of the class. I'm sorry about that. So standing with the hands at heart center, taking a moment to set an intention for your practice today. We'll set our feet up, hips distance apart as we reach all the way up. I'm going to start with a side bending, tip up and over to the left. I'm kind of clasping my own fingers, but do anything that's coming to you. And move over to the right. Let this be enjoyable. And then back through center, reaching up, lift your heart. We'll take a slow dive, only halfway down, hands to thighs or knees with a flat back. You might already feel the stretch behind your legs. And we'll fold all the way down. You can have soft knees if you like slightly bent. Allow the head to be heavy. You could grab elbows, giving the hamstrings a chance to lengthen. And come on to fingertips, flatten the back, lift the heart. And you'll step the left foot to the back of the mat. Split the legs and rock just a couple times. Push the ground hard as you step into plank position. We're going to move around forward and back with this, coming onto tippy toes and pointing the heels back. And eventually lowering all the way to the ground. Lift into a baby cobra. We're going to hang out for a little while. Love to activate the back body. What an antidote for daily living. Full breaths. And pushing on to knees, we'll take child's pose. Breathing to the flanks. Walking your hands to the left, reaching. Walking hands over to the right, breathing fully. And on back to center, tucking toes, make your way to downward facing dog. You can spend some time on the right heel first. And then shift to the left heel if that feels right. Finding neutral dog eventually. We'll sweep the right leg out behind. Draw the knee forward as you plant your foot, shine the collarbones forward, and then step to the top of the mat. Inhaling. Exhaling, bow all the way down. Press toes down firmly. You'll rise through the heart, arms go overhead, and release. Hands through prayer, reminder of your intention. And then arms go wide and overhead once again. I'm going to tip over to the right side this time, getting into the side body a bit today. We'll also do some twists. Through center and over to the left side. On through center, reaching all the way up. Take a slow dive all the way to Uttanasana, folding. Inhale, lift the heart, and you'll exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat, rocking. And push the ground as hard as you can. Step right in to plank position. Inhale. Once again, we'll move around in it, rocking forward and back. Testing the core, testing the shoulders. Come all the way forward. And then eventually, we're going to lower all the way to the ground once again. This time, lift for a higher cobra. Shoulders drawing actively back. Can you stretch the front neck? Maybe even tip the head from side to side. There's my little boy. Dipping down, rolling over knees. This time we'll find a puppy pose. So heart presses down, chin presses down. If you like, grab the mat in front of you. That's a really good way to keep your elbows active. It's creating a little action as you stretch, making the stretch more effective. Keep pointing the sits bones high. You can play with stretching out one shoulder then the other. Where do you feel the tug? Can you breathe right to that? And we'll inch our way out, finding downward facing dog again, creating power from your fingertips. Long in the shoulders. We'll sweep the left leg up high. Drawing this knee forward. Place the foot between your hands. Lift through the heart. And you'll step to the top of the mat, flattening your back. On an exhale, take a fold all the way to empty. Lead with the heart to stand tall, reaching up. Hands through heart center. We'll do it all over again. Arms go wide and overhead, greeting the sun. Tip to your left. Here's a body prayer for us today. Creating our own patterns, and up and over to the right. Trying to get into every little corner, shine light everywhere. Lift your heart, and then fold all the way down. Inhale, lift through the heart, look to horizon, and exhale, step or float your way to lower down into chaturanga. Lifting heart, active legs, shoulders way back. It's upward dog. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Finding these restful moments, these breath-centered moments everywhere possible. Onto toes, you can bend knees and step or leap yourself to the top of the mat, flattening the back on the inhale and exhaling all the way to to forward fold. Lift your heart, stand all the way up. Hands through the center. This time bending knees. Find your Utkatasana. Point the tail down and you feel the abdomen. Take a twist to your left, hooking the right elbow. Spend some time pressing prayer hands into the center of your chest. Looking out beyond that left shoulder. See to it your neck is long. We'll come back through center. Do it on the other side. It's not a long hold. Quite a bit of effort though. Hands through heart center. Can you open the heart as you look behind the right shoulder? Nice and long in the neck. Come on back through in the middle. And then we'll dive all the way to Uttanasana. Inhale, flatten out. Exhale, step or float your way to Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We'll sweep the right leg right up there, opening your hip this time. And draw the knee forward. Place the foot between your hands. Set the knee down or hover it. We're going to go open wide through arms to lift the heart. And that was it. We'll launch into standing split. The left leg is lifting. We're going to stay for a few breaths, working on it. Going to keep a slight internal rotation of that top leg, energy through the toes. And you'll step back and create triangle. So we really have to peel the hips, peel the chest open. You're going to slowly lift it so that you're actually hovering your bottom fingers using your own supports. Come all the way up and tip it right into peaceful warrior. Right knee bends, heart shines open. This is my dining room, by the way. We'll take the hands all the way down, step into Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking our time. We'll sweep the left leg high. Again, open hips slightly. And then take the knee forward. Plant your foot and your back knee. Open the arms really wide to present your heart up. Maybe you can even reach up and back. And then exhale, hands come right back to earth. Launch into standing split, right leg lifting. And take our time working on it, breathing through it. Not a total cheerleader split. Try not to stack completely, keeping some nod to squareness in the hips. Energy all the way through top leg. When you step it out, make it Trikonasana, your triangle. So intentionally peeling the front body open, hips and shoulders. Press through your foot to activate. You lift your heart just enough to hover the left fingers. Stay long in the spine. Let there be some heat. I did end up sweating quite a bit in this practice. And take it all the way up, making peaceful warrior once again. If you have to adjust your feet, of course that's okay. Depth in the legs, real lift and openness through the heart. And rolling all the way to earth. Step to plank position. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open your heart. Active through legs. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Let's set the elbows down. We'll work on dolphin pose, partly as a strengthener, but also as a shoulder opener. So what's it like to imagine pushing forward through your fingers at the same time that you gaze between your knees and try to pull your chest toward the back of the mat. So opposing forces there. And you're ready to straighten the arms. Onto toes, bend knees, you'll step or float to the top of the mat. Flatten the back. Exhaling, fold all the way down. We'll bend the knees, finish with Utkatasana. It's a nod to our Surya Namaskar bees. And we'll stand tall once again, hands through the heart. Anjali Mudra, bending knees again, Utkatasana, your chair pose. Exhale, take a twist to the right this time. We're going to add on to it. Still not a very long hold, but you'll lift the right arm. Maybe some of you will try to wrap it around your waist, even bind into that left inner thigh. Like me, I had to kind of come out of it just to finagle my way into it. Maybe you'll do the same. Breathe through. Try to get even through knees as best you can. And then back through center. If you need to rest, straighten your legs. Otherwise, right over to the left. Hook the elbow. You can stay there or try adding on. Left arm lifts. It's a perfectly good place to stay. Or wrap the arm around your waist. Some of you will even be able to get into the inner thigh. Do your best. Try to stay even through the knees. Open through the heart. Looking back, breathe strong. And through center once again, chair pose and diving. Uttanasana never felt so good. Empty it out. And then inhale, collarbones forward. Exhale, step or leap your way to lower down, pushing as you lower. Chaturanga if you've got it, otherwise the ground. Into up dog if possible. Cobra's cool too. Exhaling, downward dog. Now we'll sweep the right leg high, really opening the hips, bending the knee. And playfully look over your left shoulder. Maybe that foot will come into your peripheral vision. And then we'll tap right knee to left tricep, but grab hold of your foot. You can keep it there or swing it up towards your ear. Do your best. It's kind of like a Vishvamitrasana, although not quite. Eventually set the right foot to the top of the mat, back heel lift, set the back knee down. Just going to take a few moments. I'm trying to slide the left leg back as though this were a split practice, though we'll get there later. Breathing into the hip flexors. Lifting up, find a twist to the right. Hands can stay at the heart. And if you like tuck toes, lift the back leg. Get really strong through the back leg. One of you asked me, what do you mean by strong through the back leg? I mean really straight through the knee, so you kick on the quad. You can even imagine lifting on the left hip a little bit or lifting the left thigh up toward the ceiling. That'll engage your hip. Let's turn that right into a side angle. So right fingers come down to floor or block. Back heel roll down, left arm across the ear line. How open can your heart be as you look up? If you want to add on, like holding the moon style, core supported pose, breathe in heavy to make it through. Press through foot to stand up tall, parallel through feet, and take a dive down. Hands land. Let's get this familiar. I'd like to think simple, wide-legged fold. Eventually pointing toes out, bending into the left knee, Skandasana style. And right knee, Skandasana style. Finding inner thigh stretch. That's all I'm trying to do here. And back through the middle, good time for an inversion. So I'm teeing up a headstand. You can tee up yours, come in any way you like, or opt for another inversion. Headstand preparation, by the way, is perfectly great too. So you'd set up for headstand and be on your tippy toes, just practicing pushing weight into the forearms. Keep space in the neck. Let this be a breathing exercise. And we'll slowly take it all the way down. Climb up to flat again. And you'll pivot around, back heel lifts, sweeping the right leg high. If you wish to, find a three-legged flow. Some of you will chin stand. And eventually, we meet at downward facing dog. Sweeping your left leg high. You can really open that hip, bend the knee. Looking over your right shoulder playfully. Try to see your foot in your periphery. And then you'll tap right or left knee to right elbow, but grab the foot, kick it out to the side. You can stay like that or try to swing it up by your ear, kind of like a Vishwamitrasana modification. Really powerful side plank kind of arm balance combo. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Back heel lifts. So it's just a low lunge, but you're trying to slide that back knee back so you get a really good stretch through your hip flexors, especially lifting through the heart. It's kind of feeling like a split maybe. Breathing. You'll climb up, do what you got to do to get into a tight twist. Over to the left, hooking right elbow, hands at prayer. Now if you wish to, you can tuck your back toe, lift that back leg, really strengthen it. It's like you're lifting the leg bones up toward the sky. And back leg bones. Keeping energy there. Turning it into side angle, left fingers down to floor or block, back heel rolled down, right arm across your ear. How open can your heart be at side angle? And if you wish to, hold the moon. Find that core supported work. Breathing strong. Climb all the way up, parallel the feet. Interlace fingers low behind the sweet moment. Lift your heart. And fold. Release the fingertips down. Flatten your back. You can bend over into the left knee, this time kind of rocking forward with it or back. Try to find your sweet spot where the stretch is really feeling satisfying. And then over to the right side, same thing. Lingering where you need to. Clearly I need to linger for my left inner thigh more than my right. Let's come on back through center. Once again, you got a great inversion opportunity here. So I'm going to be playing with Pincha Mayurasana, the forearm stand. But feel free to take any inversion you'd like, any entry you'd like. That was a straight-legged puppy. And any legs that are making you happy today. A handful of breaths to play around. I got knees bent, kind of hollow back style, although it didn't shift my gaze. All right, that's it. Lowering. We'll pivot around to the left foot, sweeping the left leg out behind. Three-legged dog and a potential three-legged vinyasa. Some will chin stand. Heart opens. And then we find downward facing dog. A moment of connection, regrouping, recentering. Bend knees and step or spring to the top. Inhale to flat. Exhale to fold. We'll spend time in the fold, wrapping arms around if you like. And then we'll bend knees, take it to Utkatasana. And stand tall. Changing the subject for a little bit. You can step the feet hips distance apart. And draw hands to the waist, about to do a little balancing series. Hands to the waist for firmness. You'll shift weight to the right foot. So I'm going to cue either a tree pose or a half lotus if it's in your practice. Now some of you do binds and fold forward and all that, but today I'm really working on just trying to point the knee down at the same time that I tuck the tail down and hug the belly in. So trying to open that angle at the front body. And without jutting the hips or the seat behind. Really actively pointing the knee farther down. And then we'll release it, shake it out. Hands back to the waist. Shift weight to the left foot. We'll send the right knee wide. Once again, you can take a tree pose or take it into half lotus. If you want to join me, I'm just going to keep a hand on the foot, one hand at prayer, and work on really pointing the knee to the ground, which is really challenging, especially without sending the butt out. Just try to keep the butt in, tail down, abdomen hugging back. And then a slow release and recovery. All right, another twist. This time, another balance. This time adding a twist. Clearly. So send the weight to the right foot. Lift the left knee. If you like, grab hold of the foot. Now you can stay there or extend. Once again, stay there or lift the left arm and take a gentle twist to your left. Hips aiming to square, heart trying to lift. Wobbles are okay. And finishing up, release it. Shake it out. And then we'll take it to the other side. Hands to the waist. Shift weight to your left foot. Right hand can be at the small of the back if you like. Knee lifts, bends. Maybe you grab hold of it or the foot. If you want to add the twist, you can reach the right arm up for extra length in the spine before you do. Do your best. Hips square, heart lifting. Breathe. Back at center, and then release. Shake it off. Okay, hands to the small of the back. Lift your heart. Big old back bend before we come back for sequencing. A slow fold all the way down. Taking hold of elbows. We're going to spend time this time just really trying to pulse and lengthen through the legs and even the spine. I'm actually trying to send the elbows to the left foot and then the elbows over to the right foot. Then trying to pulse at the middle by trying to touch the head toward the ground. Doesn't actually get there. but we're still making that effort. All right, back into flat back, just bending the knees for a little recovery moment. Plus preparation for a Pashasana, noose pose variation a little bit later. My Ashtangis will know what I'm talking about. It's when I rarely practice that little knees together squat with a twist. All right, for now though, hands to ankles, lengthen the back. Doing a little nowly, a little belly pumping, just to get extra length through the spine, and then refolding, giving myself a hug. Definitely made some progress, as you can see, in the forward fold today. If you look back, the back starts really rounded. Now we're getting a little closer, chest to legs. A little more flatness in the spine. All right, feet together, knees bend, heels can lift. Some of you want to roll up some kind of towel or blanket to support your heels. I'm just letting mine stay suspended. I'm going to start with a simple twist, and then right fingers down, left arm up. And this is as far as I'm going today in Pashasana, but as many of you know, it actually it has a whole bind, so if you want to play with that, go ahead. In the meantime, I'm scooting it into a side crow. That's an option. And then letting it land. It's almost like the side crow is easier than the Pashasana, so it's a little way that I escape the noose. All right, recovered, and then back over to the right side, using these bodily movements just to get a little extra length in before I twist, even using the wall there you saw to really snuggle in. Now left fingers are on the ground and the right arm is reaching up. It's a bit of a cheat, just trying to really get in as deeply as possible into my twist. Wringing ourselves out today, folks. Hands to the ground, a side crow. If you want it, let there be heat today. Breathe strong. Trying to lift the toes as high as the knees. All right, back at the ground. We'll recover actually with a Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees are wide. And bow forward. Well deserved. We're halfway through our practice. Much more to do, much more fun to be had. We're going to climb up, do a little core moment, grab hold of the inner heels, be on the sits bones, try to lengthen through your lower back, lift through the heart and look up. Not trying to break any contortion records, really just trying to tone and strengthen the core by balancing this way. All right, let's take a wide-legged pose, Upavishta Konasana, slowly walking it forward. Of course, you can bring a block or pillows into the mix if you like. Let it be a touch restful if it can be. So your body relaxes and the muscles yield. We'll climb on up. This time catching the inner feet. Lift your legs. Once again, balancing on sitting bones. How long can your back be? How lifted your chest? Can you flex your feet so much that you land on your calves, fold down briefly, and that was it. We're going to face the top of the mat now and try coming into Titibhasana, an arm balance position from a seat. Now this is more challenging for the wrists, so if it's not in your practice, you can start more like from a crow type of position or standing or folding. But if you were able, you're taking it into Titipasana, the insect pose with your legs forward, and then moving it into a crow. I had to come all the way out to get my crow today. Some of you will be able to just kind of pivot your knees onto the backs of your arms. And then we'll step it or leap it back into Chaturanga, into upward facing dog, and then ultimately downward facing dog. Like I said, more to do. Kind of putting it all together now. Satisfying, if I do say so myself. We'll sweep the right leg high. Send the knee forward. Place the foot between your hands. Set the back knee down. As before, open your arms. Present your heart. Dare to reach up and back. Big Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, hands can frame your foot. Now we'll straighten the right leg and fold there. In half Hanumanasana, your monkey king pose, aka the split. If you want to, slide it out into full split. And you can always, of course, support yourself by placing a block underneath the right side butt. Play with flexing the foot and the front foot and then pointing it. You know, flexing it gets you a better stretch, even though it may not look as pretty. If you want to, tip yourself all the way to the left and try folding. This is really good practice for middle splits, probably the best practice. And we'll climb out. Scoot out, inch out, sweep the right leg up, but we're not quite done because this time we will stack our hip, look over the shoulder again, and if it feels appropriate, you can tip it over into wild thing. Some of you will wild thing into a wheel, letting both hands land. If that doesn't happen, no self-judgment, only encouragement, breathing. You can't quite tell, but I'm trying to straighten my arms, push through shoulders. Then we'll roll it back over, send the knee forward, send the foot forward. Reaching up, stretching into our final version of this good lunging twist. So tucking the back toe, lift that knee. Because we've twisted so much today, I'm going to encourage the bind. So you'd open that right arm, maybe that's enough. Wrap the right arm behind you. Maybe that's enough. Or, some of you get this no problem. Apparently I've lost it. I've not done it in a while. I'm using the wall to really wiggle and contort that left arm underneath to grab hold of my fingers. Some of you will grab your top wrist. Wherever you are, nicely wrung out, breathing through it. Belly strong. And then frame the foot. Back to downward dog, recovering. And this is our last big sequence effort, you guys. After this, when we do some stuff down low on the mat, we'll sweep the left leg high and then place that foot between your hands. Set the back knee down, and as we did earlier, we're going to open the arms. Lift through the heart. Maybe you get so open you touch palms behind for big back bend. And then exhale, hands to the ground. You'll straighten your left leg, flexing foot, and folding in your half split practice. Such an effective stretch for the hamstrings. Perfectly reasonable to stay right here, but if you are craving the full split, we're going to start to head in that direction, sliding the foot out. As always, don't be too good for props. Get a prop underneath that left side seat if it will help you. I'm loving to lift the chest, get into the thoracic spine a little bit. Again, try flexing the foot and pointing the foot. See what changes in your stretch. Maybe reverse Namaskar. It's hands behind your heart in prayer. As before, if you want to, try tipping over to the right, treating it kind of like a wide-legged fold. Excellent middle split practice. And you'll inch your way out, scooting and sliding the left leg high behind. We'll open the hip, bend the knee, peek at the foot. And only if it feels like you're craving it, you'll step behind, create wild thing, or perhaps wheel. Length through the shoulders and arms, pushing through the heart. Do your best. Breathe big. And you'll roll it over. Take the left foot forward once again. Back knee comes down. You're going to climb up just to kind of finagle your way into a twist eventually. I'm liking the side body stretch to lengthen first. Hands can start at the heart. If you have the balance, you're going to tuck the back toes, lift that back leg. And if you want to go for it, find the bind. Alternative is wrap only that left arm. This side was easier for me. I have a former injury on the other side that I think I babied too long, honestly. I wasn't twisting as deeply on the other side for a long time, just out of a little fear. But once I started doing it, actually the pain kind of honestly moved and then disappeared really quickly. All right, back at center. Just kind of taking a recovery moment, stepping back into downward facing dog. Setting knees down, we'll roll all the way up and turn this into camel pose, Ustrasana. You can keep hands on the lower back or grab hold of your heels, squeeze the seat, lift the heart. It's such an active pose. Really trying to lift your chest, breathing. Allow the neck to stretch if it's willing. Back of the neck drops backward. And then you'll slowly inch out. We'll recover in a child's pose together because we've got more in store. More back bending, that is. True counter pose moment. All right, I'm coming back to a puppy, once again grabbing hold of the mat in front, making it really active lifting on the sits bones. If you want to try it, lengthen your legs. I love that feeling. Actually, my chest lifted off the ground for a second, so that could be a way to allow yourself an entry. And then it just settled right back down onto the mat. All right, that was the hold, so come on out when you're ready. Recovering in Sphinx pose, a simple forearms to the ground. Smiling, widening through the collarbones. I'm going to roll onto the back body, setting up for one final big back bend. Now, you can choose what you'd like to take. This could be a bridge moment. My body's craving wheel. Putting it all together. First, a little restful moment. As soon as you're ready, you can set yourself up in your back bend, climb in, try for 5 full breaths. If you want in wheel, you'll be straightening legs, pushing through the heart. And then walk the feet in a little. Try to get long through shoulders, pressed through chest. And then come on out of it. You can lower down. Hug the knees in, rock them around. True rest and playfulness. Before we get into a little core work, we'll do a final handstand as well. But we're getting close to the finish line. I split the knees, just letting the hips kind of relax. All right, lifting those legs. Doing a Garbha Pindasana variation. It's like shoulder stand, but you're pulling the knees in close to the ears. What I was craving at that moment was like a lengthening of maybe the fascia or the deep tissue of the lower back, and it's really, really hard to stretch into that sacrum area. But I find this pose to do it better than any other. I'm actually trying to wiggle the shoulders out one at a time, get the neck longer, trying to push my back, trying to stretch by giving myself a self-adjust, kind of dragging the flesh near the sits bones. And then even if it feels safe to you, you could rock a little from one into one knee and then rock weight to the other knee. It's definitely a weird position for an adult. I love it. I love that we do this. Let's do this well into our 80s, 90s. We'll slowly lower until the legs are lifting. And I'm going to touch my toes 10 times. This is B, by the way. It's our kitty cat. B-E-E. Okay, so we're strengthening kind of the upper abdominals here. So now we're going to give ourselves a chance to strengthen the lower abdominals. Rest your head back. You're going to lift the tail once and then pulse it twice. Lift and then lift twice. Lift, lift, lift. Keep going. Keep it up. Lift, relax, lift, lift, relax. Lift, relax, lift, lift, relax. Keep it up. You got this. Now I'm just making figure eights with my back, and anyone who has like instability in the sacroiliac area, if you've been diagnosed with that, you might find some relief with just these little micro movements like that, toning the abdomen, providing yourself support at the lower back. All right, now let's rock and roll all the way up to sit. I'm about to eye the wall. Can't tell you how many times I've kicked those pictures off the wall. So I'm going to do a handstand. I'm going to hold it for an intuitive amount of time. Ends up being like 5-ish breaths. Decide how you're going to get in. I've got my fingers about 4 or 6 inches away, and I decided I'm going to try to straddle in, but I'm cheating by pressing the back of my head into the wall. Get in any way you like. Get super tall. Press the head off the wall. You can keep the heels on though if you like, or hot potato them off. I tend to get a lot of pressure in my head, so I can't spend too much time upside down unless I break a blood vessel. So I'm just trying to lengthen, relax the neck, and then slowly release without overdoing it. All right, sitting all the way down. Let's get some recovery. Love recovery in the wrists. So here I'm actually just kind of swaying and sitting. And then backs of the hands come down for wrist flexion. Just trying to slow time a little bit. Relaxing all the way down onto the back. Pull the knees in, cross the right leg over the left. Let's get a twist. Knees fall to the left, lengthen your body, plant the right shoulder down, and look over to the right. And rest through the jaw, the lips, the neck. And back at the middle. And crossing left leg over the right. Take your knees to the right, lengthen, left shoulder blade comes down. You can even look over to the left. Ultimate softness at this point in the practice. Releasing any control you had of breath. We're prepping ourselves for the Shavasana, and I also have a meditation at the end for you. We'll find Shavasana, spreading out, closing the eyes, You may notice a tendency to focus on things you want to get done, for instance. What would it be like to really just cherish this time? Some of you, many of you already do. I'll wake you in 5. And come on back to a little movement, some deeper breaths, stretching. I'll climb up for a seat. So optionally, if you wish to join me for about a 5-minute meditation, you can do that together. Now my little guy, it's the summertime, I'm home with my little son, so he came over at one point during this meditation and, sought to get mommy back to playing with him. And I just had to gently tell him, mommy wants to meditate for a few more minutes, bud. I'm just going to sit with no agenda. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, say hello, be well, namaste, I bow to you. Take care.